Good afternoon. Welcome to banddirector.com. I'm Dr. Craig Bales here with the Cavalier Drum and Bugle Corps from Rosemont, Illinois. We're going to talk about the need and necessity for proper warm-up and, equally important, the proper cool-down after drill rehearsal with your band. It's very important for all of us to understand that the body needs to be warmed up, the muscles, the ligaments and the tendons, as much as the embouchure and the other parts that go along with the actual playing of your instrument. So that it's very, very important that you get a physical therapist, an athletic trainer, or a physical trainer in your community that's probably associated with your school or with your music program to come in and give you a point-by-point description of how you should be stretching and warming up your students prior to any activity. Even if it is an ensemble presentation inside and not marching, all of these individuals really need to be warmed up. The more the body is warmed up, the better will be the playing of the instrument, be it indoors or outdoors. Obviously, for outdoor marching, they really need to go through a cool-down process of very slow, simple stretching exercises, maybe just walking the track or slowly jogging the track to let the muscles cool down after a prolonged rehearsal. And that's what we want to try to get everyone to begin doing to make their musical athletes more healthy with fewer injuries. We need to discuss the importance of proper footwear for your marching musician. Depending upon the terrain that your band practices on and marches on, you have to be very careful about footwear. The foot is what touches the ground, obviously, and it needs the proper support so that injuries don't progress to the knee, the thigh, the hip, and the back. Because something wrong at the foot level can give you a back pain, and if you're not aware of that, you can spend a lot of time trying to find out what's wrong with the back, and it all started at the foot and will never correct the back. Some kind of good running shoe is usually okay. We like in the Cavaliers to have the strongest support in the mid shoe, and therefore we advise the students to use a cross trainer type shoe. In addition to that, what we feel is very important is adequate inner sole support for the foot. And so we, when possible in the shoe, depends upon the make, remove the insole that came with the shoe and put a particular type of insole into the shoe, and it gives the foot the proper support that it needs along with the way the shoe is constructed, so that there are less problems with foot pain, ankle pain, calf, including shin splints, knee pain, usually lateral knee, outside of the knee, some thigh pain, and certainly back pain. All of these can be prevented considerably by proper footwear and the proper insole. The insole can be used to add pads on the underneath side of the insole by a podiatrist, a foot specialist, and this can alleviate most of the problems that your students might have with any lower extremity or back problems. And this short, brief discussion is to try to get band directors, their students, and the parents of band students to understand the importance of getting across to school administrators, to their community leaders, to any educator, proper education of the young person in our community. We really need to get the point across to those individuals, principally the educators and our community leaders, that this is not the case. With the proper involvement of medical professionals, physicians, psychiatrists, psychologists, physical therapists, sports trainers, there are very few students who cannot participate in the vitality that a music program brings to the educational system in the primary and elementary school levels. And we have another subject of vital importance for band directors and their students all across the country, from north to south to east to west, and that's the proper hydration. We get caught up many times in continuing our drill process and our practice process, be it indoors or outdoors, without adequate stoppage for resting the body, and during that rest period, rehydration. One can become just as or even more dehydrated in the classroom, in the band hall, with air conditioning that takes humidity from the air, with a heating system that takes humidity from the air, or outdoors where it happens to be drier, particularly in the southern states. But hydration is an extremely important aspect of any music program that we need to really know more about and concentrate on. Water is the main thing to rehydrate with, to some degree, depending on how hot it is and how much your student is perspiring. Then you need to throw in some Gatorade or some kind of sports drink to replenish some of the salts that are normally found in your blood. But water is the main thing, and it really needs to be done about every 45 minutes during any practice period. A 5 to 7 minute period of really rest. Let them shake out the muscles in the arms, legs, wherever they've been using these muscles in their rehearsal, and let them rehydrate at the same time. This really can't be one of those situations where they run off the field, grab a bottle, rehydrate, run back on the field, and start right up again. That's not adequate. We can't let them go for an hour and 15 minutes without proper hydration. About every 40-45 minutes, they need to get some significant amount of fluid in their bodies, because they're losing it through perspiration, they're losing it through respiration, playing an instrument, for example. Very, very important that we learn proper hydration for these musicians. This includes those that are in the classroom or band hall. Very, very important. How best to hydrate your students is always a question. We've done this both ways, and many programs do it probably more than the two ways I will mention. I happen to like one over the other, and it will become apparent, I think, to you why. My suggestion is that you buy large water containers and get the PTA or the Band Parent Association or the local grocery store, someone in your community, to donate cheap, small cups, and that they hydrate themselves with a fresh cup each time and throw it in a trash container that's sitting there by the big water jug. The other way is to have individual water jugs for each student. This is a real problem because they all start looking alike after a while. They're all thrown on the ground somewhere or in the classroom, and you pick up someone's that's not yours, get your mouth too close to the nipple where the fluid, water or Gatorade comes out, and you can disperse flu, cold germs, very quickly through your entire band, and that's why we in the Cavaliers do not do it that way. We use the big water jugs and the individual cups that get the water from the jug, and that's the way I would suggest you hydrate your students.